For decades, the United States government refused to admit this place even existed. Today, it is synonymous with hidden alien spacecraft and absolute government denial. A specific terrestrial panic drove the extreme secrecy surrounding this patch of Nevada desert, the onset of the Cold War. The United States military needed an isolated environment where they could engineer aerospace technology that pushed the boundaries of physics. They needed to do it in complete silence to outpace the Soviet Union. So what happens when a government attempts to hide its most advanced engineering in plain sight? The resulting extraterrestrial conspiracy emerged as an accidental byproduct of military engineering. By 1955, American military planners faced a serious logistical problem. They needed a way to observe the Soviet Union from the sky without being detected or shot down. The solution was the U-2 spy plane. It was a revolutionary aircraft for its time, but testing it required a total blackout of public information. The military searched the country for an isolated testing site, settling on a dry lake bed known as Groom Lake. It sat deep in the Nevada desert, miles from any major city, surrounded by a natural ring of mountains that blocked outside sightlines. Construction started immediately, with primitive dirt runways and basic hangars. Workers were flown in on unmarked aircraft and were totally compartmentalized from the outside world. Isolating the base solved the problem of Soviet espionage, but it inadvertently laid the groundwork for a massive domestic information crisis. When test flights began, the U-2 was operating at 60,000 feet. In the 1950s, civilians believed flying at that altitude was scientifically impossible. Almost immediately, local residents and commercial airline crews began reporting mysterious, high-altitude silver flashes moving silently across the Nevada sky. The military found themselves in a catch-22. They knew these sightings were the U-2 catching the sun's reflection, but they couldn't debunk the rumors without publicly admitting they possessed a classified spy plane. Instead of offering facts, the Pentagon maintained strict, mandated silence. This created a vacuum of information in the public sphere. Without official answers, the public filled the void with their own theories, and the extraterrestrial myth of Area 51 was born. The U-2 was only the first generation. As the Cold War escalated, the testing of these classified black projects at Groom Lake accelerated. Engineers transitioned to aircraft like the A-12 Oxcart and the SR-71 Blackbird, jets capable of sustained speeds over Mach 3 that featured sharp, unconventional silhouettes. Then came the development of early stealth technology. Designers abandoned traditional airplane shapes, resulting in the jagged, geometric designs of the first stealth fighters. A clear pattern emerged. Every time a new, strange-looking classified jet took to the skies, a corresponding wave of UFO sightings swept across Nevada. As military engineers pushed the boundaries of known physics, they reinforced the belief that the public was witnessing alien technology. This dynamic continued until 1989, when Bob Lazar gave a televised interview claiming that the government was reverse engineering alien spacecraft near Area 51. Lazar's unverified claims acted as an accelerant, taking a regional Nevada folklore and transforming it into a permanent global pop culture phenomenon. Today, thousands of tourists travel to the Nevada desert, hoping to catch a glimpse of a flying saucer, while just past the gates, a network of high-tech surveillance and strict military security continues to operate. The alien conspiracies, while accidental, functioned as a flawless cover story. While the world was distracted looking for little green men in the desert, America's most vital aerospace advancements evolved safely in the shadows. To understand if anything else remains hidden behind those restricted gates today, we must strip away the myth and examine only the declassified evidence. Out in the Nevada desert, surrounded by hundreds of miles of unforgiving terrain, sits a facility that relies on sheer distance for defense. It is designed to be America's most classified military installation. Yet despite every effort to keep it hidden, it is arguably the most famous base in the world. For decades, the U.S. government refused to even acknowledge the site existed. That official silence finally broke in 2013, when the Central Intelligence Agency released a cache of declassified intelligence documents. For the first time in history, the federal government officially confirmed that Area 51 was real. These documents focused on aircraft from the 1950s and 60s, leaving a 40-year gap in the official record. By confirming that the facility was kept secret for decades to protect classified technology, the government provided a factual foundation for the theory that they are doing the exact same thing right now. Look at the site today, and the continuous activity proves it is not a historical relic. It is a highly active, expanding complex. Satellite imagery reveals massive, immaculately maintained runways and continuous new construction projects that require significant ongoing investment. The CIA's declassified history stops decades in the past, but the physical footprint of the base tells a completely different story. There is a massive gap between the limited projects the government has admitted to and the sprawling infrastructure visible from above right now. This creates an informational vacuum. The physical evidence of a well-funded operation is sitting right there in the desert, but every single piece of contextual data explaining what that operation is entirely withheld. This informational vacuum functions as a calculated security layer. By withholding context for the visible physical expansion, the government weaponizes the resulting uncertainty as a smokescreen for current military operations. To understand why the military requires such aggressive isolation, we have to look closely at what those 2013 documents actually revealed about the base's verified purpose. The installation was explicitly established as a remote testing ground for highly classified aerospace programs. The primary example was the U-2 spy plane. They also tested the A-12 Oxcart there. These were defense technologies designed to operate at extreme altitudes and speeds, requiring total, uncompromising secrecy to keep them out of Soviet hands. Developing aerodynamics that advanced creates a logistical nightmare. The engineers needed vast stretches of empty airspace to push the airframes to their limits, a complete absence of civilian witnesses on the ground, and a total lockdown of internal communications. When you design a facility specifically to test bizarre, impossible-looking aircraft far away from prying eyes, the required ground operations are going to look exactly like a UFO cover-up. Today, the military enforces that necessary isolation with an aggressive physical perimeter. The airspace above the installation is among the most heavily restricted in the United States. On the ground, all physical access points are blocked by strict checkpoints and monitored continuously by camouflaged security patrols. The perimeter operates on a strict zero-tolerance policy. There are no public tours, photography is prohibited, and anyone attempting to fly a drone near the border faces immediate interception. Aviation experts point out that these extreme barriers are scaled to shield enormous, next-generation stealth drones and advanced aerospace prototypes. The military is trapped by its own security protocol. They cannot debunk the public rumors by explaining what they are currently building, because doing so would directly compromise active national defense projects. Despite decades of intense global speculation, there is zero verified evidence of extraterrestrial technology inside Area 51. So why does the belief persist with such conviction? It comes down to the psychological consequence of combining strict physical barricades with absolute public relations silence. Human nature abhors an informational void. When a massive operation is clearly taking place, but the government refuses to provide a single piece of context, the public is forced to invent their own legends to make sense of what they are seeing. This psychological mechanism guarantees that every mundane defense test is converted into a myth. A strange light in the sky from a prototype drone test immediately becomes a flying saucer, and a silent security patrol is instantly interpreted as a sinister cover-up. Notice how the government has responded to these sprawling worldwide myths over the decades. They completely refuse to engage with them, making no real effort to aggressively dispel the rumors. This reaction suggests that the mythology surrounding Area 51 actually serves as its most effective layer of security. The legend acts as a massive, noisy distraction. It ensures that thousands of amateur investigators are looking into the desert hoping to find aliens, rather than analyzing the specific aerodynamic properties of America's newest stealth technology. Area 51 proves that the most enduring mysteries are not created by extraterrestrial visitors. They are created when a government enforces absolute silence, allowing the public to willingly invent the perfect distraction, keeping America's true aerospace advancements safely hidden in the dark.